Hello everybody, today I would like to review a mode for Total War Rome Remastered, Total Conquest 2.0. Quite a beginner-friendly mode, I would say. Not as complex as RIS, for example, but still adds a lot of new factions and even some new mechanics. And a big-ass map. Not as big as RIS, but still there is space to go around, let's say. It's a really good mode. Like, it's maybe not newbie friendly, but for beginner modder who just tired of playing the original Rome wants a bit more map. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. So if speaking shortly, this mode has a lot of new factions, which makes this mode more replayable and adds more variety to the map, which I like quite a lot. Carthage, for example, split into 4 different dynasties. Rome has weaker earlier units. Greeks have some really nice high tier units. Like their flanks, phalangites and hoplites needed more overpowering. Egypt is added, but like plays as like a rebellion or something to the actual Ptolemaic kingdom, which is Egypt proper on this map. So I like it. I like this map. So Carthage and Rome in this mode and Greeks are the most looked at factions with more wider rosters. So if you want to play this mode, play Rome, some of the Carthage dynasties, or some Greeks. That would be my suggestion. Another interesting thing about this mode is when you conquer a settlement, let's see for some fresh settlement. Yeah, you need to core it to make your core province, basically civilize them. And it takes a lot of time, some time for sure. And you can build local recruitment laws at and recruit local weak troops that basically for mass and holding cities, with some penalties for, as you can see, public order, tax income, population growth, and trade income bonus. So you need to think carefully what you want to do. In recently conquered settlements, you also can decide how to build your settlement. Basically, the options given are abandoned settlement. I don't know why you would do that, for money especially, but I guess to make a buffer between yourself and enemy. Brutal suppression, which gives public order bonus 50%, which I done a few times. Crazy trade income debuff, tax income debuff, and population growth debuff. Or you can do martial law, which is half as bad. Or you can try harsh treatment which is a little less harsh and cheaper. But I mostly done trade focus to improve trade 30%, which with debuffs to tax income and public order, just slightly. So what else about this mode? The buildings, they cost more, so you need to decide what do you want to build in each city, basically. Do you want to recruit local troops with some debuffs to economy, or you want to try to grow this town to a city status as fast as you can, or you want to take a balanced approach with trade? So it's quite a lot of decisions here. Quite a lot of decisions, various decisions here. quite a good play. Yeah, I would recommend that mode. For experienced players, for just chill gameplay, and even for new players who want to try modes that not going as far away from vanilla experience, but still adding some new mechanics, new units, new factions. It's pretty fun. Try it out. You'll like it. And now to a deeper review through my Massalia campaign. So this was a very interesting campaign, I'm not gonna lie. Quite a bit of a defensive campaign, but with strategic attacks for sure. But I think as in most of, especially defensive campaigns, or maybe all Total War campaigns, the most fun part is the beginning. Let's take a look at the map. First thing that catches my eye is Carthage is split into 4 different factions: Hanoi Dynasty, Barcid Dynasty, and Magonid Dynasty, which is pretty cool, but they are mostly allied between themselves. We see Rome starting position is quite interesting as well. Greece is very diverse, with some hordes as well. And Seleucids in mods, they're a far cry from vanilla Seleucids because they got so much more territory, which is historically more accurate. We got Ptolemaic Kingdom, Ptolemaic Egypt, which is historically accurate, but I think mod developer did a good thing that he added the original Egypt, the troll Egypt, deeper in the territory, which is cool. Not historically accurate, but still cool. Let me review my campaign. That campaign was quite difficult. I haven't played for Greeks before much, mostly played for Rome, but still I enjoyed that campaign because in Rome Total War the hoplites are overpowered. But let me tell you, it was a rough start. I mostly lost in the beginning a few times, and I loaded a few times for sure, and restarted my campaign a couple of times as well, because on very hard campaign difficulty, I play on very hard campaign and normal battles, because I think Rome was balanced for normal battles. I just don't like when some peltasts with no armor and no attack kill my almost elite troops. It just doesn't agree with me. As you can see, I already conquered the richest regions of the map, which is Italy, Carthage itself, Egypt. I didn't conquer Jerusalem, but here against Seleucids, it's just a long, drawn-out war, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna bother. I've done that with Rome, with a map even bigger than this one. Conquer the whole map because, yeah, autism, but you know how it goes. But the beginning of the campaign, until the turn 200, 250, was just madness. It was so hard. I'm not a pro player on anything, but I enjoyed it, and it was quite hard for me. And I tried not to cheese it. I mean, you have to cheese it, especially in city defense, especially in bridge river crossing, but I think it's just the name of the game here. As you see, turn 11, I don't have any army yet. Just trying to get the economy going, and I was in -5 number digits, quite a lot. So here I'm just waiting until my economy starts going somewhere. And let's see, for example, turn 48, for example. At turn 48, I'm still at my home base, just trying to defend, at war with Insubris, barbarians, and Rome came knocking as well. So it mostly was just sieges after siege after siege. And look at these boys, military hoplites. When you put them, like, not even in the final square of the town, but just in the narrow choke points between buildings, man, can they hold out. Even with 2 morale and no armor and 4 defense skill. I mean, they, with general help, with the special ability of the general, they can hold out for a long time. Let's see turn 78, for example. I am still... Oh no, actually I tried to land here and I conquered Aleria, which is Corsica. I think I lost it a little bit after, but I conquered Caralis. I was trying to invest in my fleet, actually, just holding Massilia proper with hoplites and trying to invest in my fleet, trying to avoid Hanoid fleets, Magonid fleets, and Barcid fleets, which you can see, turn 78, Barcid dynasty is like going north as hell. With full stacks. I mean, yeah, this mod is full of doom stacks, but AI that's what it can in terms of its logic to just overwhelm the player. Like, rarely you can see some interesting tactical or strategic moves from AI, but you can see them sometimes, at least. Let's see further. At turn 111, I'm breathing a little bit more freely. Still holding Massilia. I lost Aleria, but I conquered Caralis, which was quite important for me for economic reasons. My fleet is moving a bit more freely, and investing into the fleet was the right idea because, man, even like at very hard, even further nations come to you and put their troops near your capital, like Syracuse with the fleet with the army, second fleet with the army. So investing with the fleet into the fleet early on paid off. And I think at that point I am thinking to rush to Carthage itself, actually, because Carthage is a very rich city, and get back Aleria as well. Thank God Romans did not attack me. No, they did. They have. But they're not sending doomstacks to me yet. But it's yet to come. Let's see turn 155, for example. Okay, turn 155, as you can see, like, my empire is growing. I'm still holding at Massalia against Insubris, against Barcids, and they're coming with doomstacks, believe that. But my militia hoplites are just like super strong in defending the city. I took Bohoris, and I took Carthage itself, which is under siege always. And these boys, man, they're helping from time to time. They're super cheap, like 200 denarii, I think, to buy them, 250 maybe. Let's check. Yeah, just 200 denarii. And if you put them in the city circle, in city square, or just put your general behind them and stack them on top of each other, man, they can defend, and they're cheap as hell. I'm just barely starting to get proper hoplites, and they're like bulk of my army. And elephants really help, though they cost like 4,000 denaries that I did not have mostly. But after sacking and just exterminating, I think, Carthage. Yeah, look at the number of income. I got some money and put them into use for elephants. Elephants scare the enemy, and it's very important. The morale is very important in this game. As you can see, I took Lilybaeum, I took Messana, but later I gonna fall back from Messana and hold Lilybaeum proper. Then attack Syracuse. I'm just letting Romans to take Syracuse. I don't know why, but rebels are not enemies in this game, in this mode, at the beginning, which is, I think, a bit cool. Because if there were enemies, man, I would not survive against pirates and their elite ships. My god. Let's see how the campaign progresses. Turn 194. Yes, as you can see, I retreated to Lilybaeum because I couldn't set up logistic properly to defend Messana. It was just a bit too hard against Doomstacks of Romans. Their Doomstacks weren't that hard to defend against with hoplites, especially because Roman infantry is segmented into early, for example, early Hastati, early Triaria, early Principles, and late. They're weaker than normal Principes, Hastati, and Triarii. But the sheer numbers of them, I just decided to hold out in Lilybaeum, holding Carthage. Took this town as well, which just to relieve pressure from Carthage, to get some money from Carthage. And let's see what's next. Turn 225. So it's a slow campaign, really slow campaign. You're not steamrolling. You're defending, building up logistics, and then attacking. Slowly. Not much change. I took Vapincum. Vape and Cam, as I called it. I later withdrew because the Doomstacks. I tried to rush to Mediolanum. I barely then escaped from there because of Romans. Barely escaped with my armies. But I held it for a little bit. I took Aleria back, which is very important for this trade. The Mediterranean here trade. And I made a mad dash to Kydonia because I wanted Cretan archers, you know. And my ultimate goal from the beginning of the campaign was take Rhodes because of course, increasing naval trade by 40%, which is huge. Let's see if I succeeded. So just 25 turns later, I already own Rhodes with my better army, with mercenary hoplites. AI being AI, Ptolemaic Kingdom just sitting there, and of course the rebels, which I later in campaign started buying out because Cretan archers, just military hoplites, why not? And some trade is going on here. Crete is pretty good for trade as well. Still holding Carthage. Took Hardamentum. Funny enough, Egypt was my ally for the most of the part, but as soon as we share a border on very hard, they came knocking. I tried to put my forces into Saguntum, but they came, and I did not survive with this army. Like, it was just Doomstack against. It's not this is not all. Like, they just did not stop coming. They did not stop coming. But it's still holding Massilia. Though, at some point, when I put my forces out and there was just a few military hoplites, they actually 10-star diplomat came and just bought my Massilia out. That was funny as hell. I recorded it immediately, but still. And at this point, I think I started losing the naval battle because Hanoi dynasty, the Carthage dynasty, they started to build their heavy ships, Queen Quirime, Queen Quireme, yeah. And yeah, I just concentrated on. I couldn't afford any money. I took Syracuse as well. But at some point I was like without a fleet, mostly just holding on. I'm trying to load the save where I don't have an army to fight. But like, especially when war against Rome kicked in a higher gear, it was just one siege after another. Yep, let me see. Yeah, that was at the point when I think they asked for peace and gave me time to rebuild. I started building my armored hoplites, and basically from that point when you get armored hoplites, which are so good, and when I was starting getting archers and slingers, I gotta love slingers, they're dealing some proper damage. I started to, and at that point I started to expand into Roman territory. Like, while they were concentrating on sieging my Messana, I put my forces at Genio and Arretium. And you can really hold out with hoplites really good. I started to move westwards as well, crushing Hanoi dynasty and holding. And then holding for their counterattack. And my god, like when the African pikemen came, like before that it was just like Carthaginian hoplites. They were like unique militia. It was nothing, honestly. But then when they started fielding African pikemen, and after that they were starting fielding Sacred Band, look at that defense and attack. And after that they started fielding Lions of Carthage. My god, yes, I was losing some settlements even in defense because they're so strong. They're unbelievably strong. So Carthage and Rome in this mode, and Greeks are the most looked at factions with more wider roster. So if you want to play this mode, play Rome, some of the Carthage dynasties, or some Greeks. That would be my suggestion. So this was a very interesting campaign, I'm not gonna lie. Quite a bit of a defensive campaign, but with strategic attacks for sure. But I think, as in most of, especially defensive campaigns, or maybe all Total War campaigns, the most fun part is the beginning. And this is back to my current state. As you can see, Rome is just chilling there. They asked for peace, and basically they're a buffer between me and Dacia. The Barkid dynasty, after I held out in Spain and took like modern France area, the Gaul areas, they just, like, the eye, I think, just broke, and they just chilling here, loading and unloading from ships and stuff. Just chilling there, not accepting my peace, but still chilling. Like having two cities that I'm not taking because of the Germans that they will attack. I just kind of bored of fighting one nation after another. But I think it's not the mode problem, it's just Rome AI. It's hard-coded and you can't change it with mods. And the Doom stacks, they just programmed to behave that way, I guess. And this is about it. This is my Massalia campaign. I conquered the most important regions on the map, and I'm kind of content with that. No point fighting further. I don't see any point, just as long. But if you want to see a world conquest by me, the whole map conquest, press the like button and leave a comment. I will conquer the world with my this Massalia campaign, or I wanted to try a Parthia campaign. I'm gonna try a Parthia campaign anyway, on this mod or some another big map mod. I never tried Parthia, but I really want to because of Cathathrax. And on a big map, it will be fun. So subscribe. Gonna be streaming it on this exact channel. And we'll do a video about my conquests on this channel as well. So if you liked it, consider subscribing and see you soon.